Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Unsolicited, where things are not planned well today. um, and you'll probably hear the dogs. And as you can see, still kind of in morning garb. So all of this is because March is definitely March Madness month here in my business and at home. We've had a lot of things going on, wrapped up taxes, had the eldest 21st birthday, our third wedding anniversary, spring break, and now I am headed out tomorrow to experience a mastermind about masterminds. And so for those of you who don't know what a mastermind is, I'm going to look up the definition according to Google. And just for funsies, let's see if I can get into ChatGPT and ChatGPT can chime in on this. Ha, excellent. All right, so what is a mastermind? So for those of you who don't know what one is or haven't participated in one, the first result in Google when you ask what is a mastermind is from Heights Platform. And they state a mastermind is essentially a small group of people, generally about 10 members, who share the same values, come from similar backgrounds, or have the same goal in mind. The purpose of the mastermind is to provide peer support, brainstorm ideas, and offer a safe space for communication. Sounds about right. ChatGPT is currently thinking and coming up with its own answer. So, yeah, it got really slow. And so I just asked ChatGPT, what is a mastermind? And ChatGPT is still coming up with an answer here. So let's see if I can make some light happen. Hi. So those of you who are watching video can go ahead and see this. So based upon Google's definition, yes, I've actually participated in one formal mastermind. I think that there are other masterminds or programs or communities that you can be involved in that aren't necessarily called masterminds. And I was introduced to this concept a few years ago. Was new to it, didn't really understand that this existed or was a thing. And so I participated in a mastermind last year with Rose Group International. They are a firm out of Spearfish, South Dakota, and they help people with change, transition, and not just people. I shouldn't say that. The mastermind was for people, but they actually help international, global companies achieve seamless and less chaotic transitions and change by addressing the different dynamics that people can have in a team in certain situations, like a change of executive leadership or ownership, mergers and acquisitions, a new project. So yeah, they're the experts in change management and project management. And so I was part of this mastermind, and we were able to learn from each other. We came together. There was a group of, I think, total about 10, maybe 12 of us in the actual mastermind. And then at the end of that, we actually, part of our investment for participating in the mastermind was a week-long stay in Ireland at a castle. So that was kind of an easy sell, in my opinion. Okay, so ChatGPT. The term mastermind can refer to a few different things, but it generally refers to a person who is exceptionally, oh, that went away, who's exceptionally skilled or knowledgeable in a particular field or domain. Here are a few common uses of the term. So this is talking, okay, a mastermind can refer to a person who is the brains behind a particular plan or operation. This person is typically responsible for devising the strategy and coordinating the efforts of others to achieve a common goal. So that's more of like an identity. In the context of business or entrepreneurship, a mastermind is a group of individuals who come together to share their experience, expertise, and support each other in achieving their goals. These groups often meet regularly to brainstorm ideas, provide feedback, and offer accountability to one another. And then the term mastermind is also sometimes used in the context of games and puzzles, particularly those that require a high degree of strategic thinking and problem solving skills. In these cases, a mastermind is someone who is exceptionally skilled at solving the problem, solving the puzzle, or winning the game. Sounds like life. Overall, a mastermind is someone who is highly skilled and knowledgeable in their domain, whether that be in business strategy or another area of expertise. When I asked to generate a different response, ChatGPT is spitting out the same info. So just FYI, if you don't want to try it yourself, spoiler alert. But yeah, so a lot of the times, these are kind of community pods in a sense. It's something that a couple people that I know and have met over the last few years have joined or been a part of. One that I'm in right now that is free is that we meet on Mondays at a set time for a certain length of time, or whoever can meet it. It's really kind of loosey-goosey, again, free. And we framed it more to be like a community or an accountability group. It was a way because we're all kind of working on our own, so there isn't a team. There isn't someone else that's relying on us necessarily, or there isn't someone that we talk to regularly, to be that you would if you were employed somewhere or if you had a team or a business partner. And so it's a really great way to be able to kind of bounce ideas off of each other, or if we're all facing similar problems or trying to figure out a process or anything like that. And so that is something that I'm doing. And again, the group is really relaxed, but we use a lot of the same software tools and solutions, like our all-in-one marketing solution. So it's one of those where we can go ahead and kind of troubleshoot or commiserate on taxes or finances or a difficult client or sales or a great client, and that kind of thing. There really isn't an agenda, so to speak. So technically, I guess that's a mastermind. But in this context, and the trip that I'm about to take is about building my own high ticket mastermind. Now, when we talk about high ticket, that can mean a different thing to different people. It's completely subjective, and it can mean different things to the same services or products that are offered by the same individual. So, for example, high ticket for one person might be $2,000, whereas other people that might be 10,000. For other people that might be 50,000. So it's really kind of subjective in the same way that low ticket offers or low priced offers are subjective as well. Someone might think $7 is too much to charge for an ebook. Other people might think that $27 is too much, so they charge $7, and that kind of thing. But the value and what I'm looking for is I'm wanting to launch. I've been talking about this for years, and I have relatively a good framework for doing it. But it's just needing to get a fire under my butt to make it happen, that kind of thing. And there's always the opportunity to learn and to improve and to do something. And a lot of these events, too, the benefit is just the other attendees that you're meeting, the speakers that you're meeting, the caliber of people that are going to something like this. And so I'm looking forward to it. There are going to be some Clubhouse people that will be there. So that's really exciting. Finally getting to meet some people that I've met online and been talking to for the last 2, going on 3 years now. And so it's really one of those where I'm wanting to learn more about, okay, so I have an idea of what this looks like, but It's like I know, but you don't know until you know enough. To be able to start my own mastermind group in a couple different facets. One is just I want to create a group program and a solution for single entrepreneurs or small business owners that don't have the resources to hire a marketing team or a marketing agency. I mean, really, that's kind of where my Done For You agency came into play. But even then, I'm finding people that still find that out of their budget. They're just starting. They also might take the same approach that I do with many business things where I want to know how it works for myself. So that way, when I finally outsource this to someone, I understand the information that they're giving me, or I understand better the work that they're doing. So if they're wanting to understand social media, unfortunately, I meet with a lot of people that have talked to larger marketing agencies and they kind of got screwed on the deal. So that that does suck. And so, or just being like, well, why did they do that? Or why did I don't understand why this is going on? And then they talk to me and I can kind of explain it a little bit. So that's essentially what that group program is going to be looking at. And it's going to essentially be affordable. The exchange of energy that happens or that is happening with that particular program is that it's going to be um, time. It's going to be a lower monetary investment, um, where right now I'm looking at doing $1,000 for the year for 12 months. And you have access to this group and training modules and tutorials and content and updates and all the things related to social media and subsequently digital media because it's all connected or it all should be. And so that's what I'm looking for from the group program. The difference is that you are in a group setting, so it's a lot like school, where there's a lesson that's broadly taught. You have to ask, you're going to be asking questions, things like that. But there's also an opportunity to have a discounted rate for one-on-one consultations or troubleshooting if you're really stuck in something, that kind of thing. And again, something that's affordable for those solopreneurs, or I guess anyone who decides to take advantage of this. Because the thing is that the trade-off, the energy exchange, right, is that I'm not doing the implementing. The members of the group will be doing the implementing. Versus then, because beyond that, we kind of get into that done for you kind of territory. And so working with clients and figuring out needs and solving solutions, this is kind of what I've come up with. And it came from the fact that when I started my business, I wanted to help other entrepreneurs understand the importance of social media or how to navigate it. Because people are understanding they need social media in order to be present and work their business more effectively and more broadly. Do you need social media for your business? We'll have to talk about that later. Or feel free to let me know. Again, Instagram and Twitter at Ashley Smith IRL. Love to hear your comments, feedback, suggestions, all of that stuff, or your own thoughts. If you completely disagree with me, I want to know why. Tell me what's going on. But I believe people need to know social media and how the internet works and how the changes that are happening in legislation and privacy policies and data and AI and how that's going to impact how your business functions and works on the social media platforms. So that's all what that program is about and what I'm currently building and getting ready to launch, building all the landing pages and the sales funnels and all of that. But then there's another mastermind that is going to be a little bit more broad in this, that a friend of mine and I are going into and discussing what that looks like. And that mastermind is going to be a little bit more, we're still working on it, honestly, but higher ticket than the DIY program. I consider, $1,000 for a 12-month program to be pretty low ticket. That's less than $100 a month, right? Whereas somebody else who could be the purchaser could be like, okay, that's the most I've ever spent in an education program or a workshop. Um, so it's all subjective, but the mastermind that we're looking at is geared towards um, a higher ticket, meaning higher quality, meaning more time and a smaller group. And I think that's kind of the key to a good mastermind. At least for me and the experiences that I've had, because I've been in other group programs, I've had one-on-one coaching and consulting. I'm actually going through that right now to help me with some other areas of my business. And I think that it's one of those things where I was told a long time ago, your coach should have a coach, right? Why would you want to learn from someone who isn't continuously growing and evolving and learning as well, right? You just need somebody that's going to help you get to that point to where you can afford that higher level consultant or more detail or something about business that's very specific, right? Or a specific industry. But you have to start somewhere, right? Um, and so it's one of those where the mastermind is focused more around small business owners, particularly women, who are trying to work through um, business, but doing it their own way. There's a very traditional sense of how business should operate and run. And for a lot of women, that doesn't work for us. There's also certain things, and it depends on what your business wants to do. For example, I have purple hair right now. Now, it's temporary; it's a wash out. It's a fun thing. Was tired of the blonde, but I am in digital marketing. I am in social media marketing, and there's a certain stigma and acceptance of appearance. I can get away. Well, I mean, again, I look horrible right now because I'm getting ready to fly out to Phoenix tomorrow for the mastermind thing. But it's one of those where I can get away with nice jeans, meaning no holes in them, and a darker denim, a graphic T-shirt, and a blazer, and a pair of boots or heels or something, and I can do that, and that's considered professional in my industry. Or accepted or kind of a norm or kind of like, oh, well, she's a social media marketer. She looks at, that kind of thing. Whereas, yeah, right? Woo. Whereas if I were in the corporate world or a Fortune 500 company, um, it would be more expected to wear the full suit, the pants, the dress shoes, the blouse, the blazer, kind of be more clean cut polishy, I guess. And so you wouldn't necessarily wear a t-shirt to a board meeting at Meta. Or maybe you do because it's social media. Okay, let's pick a different one. Edward Jones Investments or or Verizon Wireless or Apple or there's a certain expectation of presence and appearance with that. And so it's that kind of thing, or it's being told. I've had other female entrepreneurs talk to me and they've been told you can't do business like that, or that's not how it works, or if you do it that way, you're absolutely going to fail. And a lot of those women are like me, where they're like, you're wrong. And they find their audience, they find the people, and they become exceptionally successful because people telling them they can't do something or they can't do it their way is the drive or the fire that gets underneath them that makes them want to make it succeed even more. Taylor Swift talks a lot about that in some interviews and things. So there's that, but it's but it's essentially instead of being told no, or instead of being told you can't do that, it's along the lines of, okay, tell me more. How are you going to work through that? Or how can we collectively in this group help you achieve that? And so one of the things that I personally believe when you're creating your own mastermind or you're looking to invest in a mastermind is understanding what is being sold. what is really being sold? What are you selling, or what are you buying into this experience? Are you buying it just for the trip? Are you buying it just for networking? Are you buying it to learn? Like, what is the desired outcome for you doing this money and time and energy exchange with somebody else? What are you going to get out of it? And that is a very personal thing to determine for your return on investment. So, the thing that I want to do when creating my own mastermind is to know what exactly that is. So, for example, so anyone who's, it's really short notice, like it starts tomorrow, but the mastermind that I'm going to, the promise is that learning about how to, um, let me just pull up the website. It's escape the time for money trap and easily add $100,000 or more in profit to your business this year. And one, I know a couple things, right? One, this isn't going to happen unless I put in the work to make it happen. I'm like, as much as I would love for it to be so easy, as so many people advertise and market of, hey, yes, we can do this for you, or yes, it's super easy, or we're going to get you number one to Google. Um, there's a price tag and a lot of work that needs to happen. And if you don't show up, it's not going to happen. So one, I do know that. Two, this is actually hosted by a gentleman I've been listening to all of my British, all of my British YouTubers for way too long. This is Brad Hart, and I'm looking for the other guy's name because I don't know him. I haven't. I'm interested, obviously, because I've followed Brad for a couple years now. His marketing guru is actually, I'm connected to him, and he's the one who was like, "Hey, you should check this out," that kind of thing. But essentially, it's yeah, it's how are you going to do this? How can you put this together? How can you add six figures to your business? And I'm like, heck yeah, I want to add six figures to my business and do it over and over again. So that's the promise, right? And then that is the deliverable is he's going to show us how to do this live. And then of course there's other benefits because it is an in-person event. So essentially what I am getting for that is that this is what I think is nice because it's still the main event. There's breakout sessions. He's providing a 30-day mastermind roadmap and online preparation program, which I think is, I'm like, okay, yeah, I need that because I can only do so much on my own. And yes, Sonia, your coach and accountability. Yes. um, there are 3 group coaching calls to make sure that we're ready to take advantage of the content that's being provided. We're also attending a virtual wine conversations and cash, and see firsthand how to build your mastermind fast. So sweet. The event is being recorded. So that's really handy to be able to go back and watch it or go back and review the content of what's happening. And then with my particular ticket, there is access to a VIP reception the night before. So the mastermind starts on Friday technically, and they gave us a huge yes, Chris J. Fissett, Fissett, Fi- Have you heard of him? I think that's his name. Um, Yeah, it's Brad Hart's thing with I think it's Jay. I haven't met Jay before. And yes, Sonia, let's absolutely talk when I get back. But like they gave us I got the schedule in there or I got access to the details and like it's I'm excited, but it's also a little bit insane. Or maybe I got an email and it's not on the website. But it's like the VIP reception is tomorrow evening. So hopefully weather, because I'm in Minnesota and I'm going to Phoenix. So one, my body is not prepared to be in Phoenix like clothes. Just because when you live where there's winter, you get used to hoodies and being able to like be comfy. Um, But it goes the VIP reception is tomorrow evening. And then Friday, it's like from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. And then, of course, if you've ever been to anything like this before, you've done educational programs or events, you know it doesn't end at 9. You know that there's networking and more connections and things being talked about. So then that'll happen. And then Saturday, it's 9 to 9. And then Sunday, it's 9 to 6. And so I'm like, okay, I'm really excited for it because I think there's going to be some really, really great content as far as um, just because of the schedule that, or the preliminary schedule that we've gotten. So I was told they're going to feed us at least during the event. So that's good. Um, and yeah, I'm just really excited about it. I know it's super last minute, but like Chris, it sounds like you know what's going on. Are you going or, and for those of you watching the replay, Chris, thank you. Good to see you again. Or watching the YouTube channel. This is being broadcast live on Fireside right now. But this is something where I'm like, you know what? It's worth. I've been following Brad. I know his marketing team. It's something that is worth the time and the financial investment to figure out because there's also a couple things into play when it comes to starting your own mastermind or starting a new just school to go to. Thanks, Chris. Thank you. Where I think one of the things that I've started, because now that when I first began my business, it was yes to anything. Do you do websites? Yes. Do SEO? Yes. Do you do blog posts? Yes. Do you do social media? Yes. Do you do what? Do you do video? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Because I needed the money, right? And those skills have served me well, and I have an interest in all of them. But as my business grows, I'm learning that it really does need to be a little bit more focused, or I'm more mindful of, okay, what do I want to take on, and how many clients can I take on, and do I have the capacity of this? Because the time that I have is a time that anybody has is valuable. So I've considered group programs before, and finally decided, nope, this is the solution of how I can impact and serve other people and hopefully make social media better in a small little fraction. Um, and then it's with the mastermind, it's a big question about, do I want to do this? Is this how I want to spend my time? Do I enjoy it? Because, I mean, obviously, another $100,000 or more revenue to a business is like, heck yes, let's do that with minimal time commitment or a minimal investment as far as energy goes, or whatever have you, and as you outsource and find people on your team, you can even cut that down even further. But it's one of those things where if you don't enjoy it, why are you doing it? Just, I mean, even if you don't enjoy it, but you like the money and you're willing to put that much energy and effort into it, then I mean, and it's worth it to you, cool. But if you don't like it enough to make the outcome worth it to you, I'm like, then don't do it. At least that's kind of what I've looked at it as, because I could spend my time doing what I want to do instead, or what I enjoy, because innately what happens if you do what you enjoy and you like doing it, you do it more, you become better at it, you finesse those skills in that craft, and it's never, you never work another day in your life. And so it's also one of those things where I look at things because I have a lot of interests, but it's a matter of not just do I like it, do I have time for it, but it's also does it make sense for my business right now? For example, I'm very much in the digital world, internet, all of these things. So data privacy, AI, conversations, fireside, podcasts, all of that. Masterminds, I want to get into speaking and training. That's kind of where the group program comes in, or the one-on-one offer that I've started to talk about with people. It's it's all related, but let's look. But I also like to bake. So, does it make sense for me to start a business that's around baking? and then try and sell that to people that it's associated with this brand of tech and the internet. Not for me. I don't think so. Um, a really like grasping at straws solution would be like, well, I could have a YouTube channel and talk about social media and bake. And but most of the time people want to watch a baking video to bake or learn something or see something cool. Um, and there's probably other people out there that also like to bake and like digital marketing and things like that. So, but for me right now, it's not necessarily something that makes sense. It just doesn't make sense. And I think that that's important, and I think that's something that um, isn't is just starting to be talked about as people are realizing it and real. Not only are they, is it just a realization? Because I think that's been around for decades, but it's also the ability to follow through with those ambitions and passions too, because of the internet and because of technology and because of where things are evolving and growing. Um, that's why you see a lot of young people, I think, with some unrealistic expectations of what they're wanting to do or how the world's going to work when they get out there on their own. Um, but anyway, that's what's going on. That's the very unscripted, very candid conversation. And why I look like a hot mess today is because I still have to do laundry so that I have the right clothes to go on this trip. Um, but I am super excited. I'm interested in seeing if this is going to help me fulfill what it is I'm actually wanting to do, which is help people and be profitable in a way that exactly exactly as it's advertised. Get away from the time for money trap. Because I think that's the ultimate. I think that's the ultimate goal. At least it has been for me. Is how do I get more of my time back? Um, while still being affordable and being able to work with the clients that I want to. That's my own personal struggle, but thank you, Sonia and Chris, for joining in live here on Fireside. If you're listening to the replay, yay. Chris, new new show, Bake It Till You Make It. Absolutely, especially with baking and something doesn't turn out right. I and then I'm like, well, could my kitchen remodel be a tax write-off? No, no, I don't think it can. But thank you so much for listening and joining with me live here today on Fireside. Anyone listening to this, thank you so much. Go ahead and click follow. For those of you who are watching the uh, rebroadcast, I guess is what it's called, on YouTube, click the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll be notified when I go live again. If you're not on the Fireside app, and I kind of have a pick your social solution for reaching out to me. So in my bio here on Fireside, there is a link that'll take you to all of the social media platforms. Pick your favorite one or the one that you're most active on. Feel free to reach out, and I will talk to you later and give you updates as soon as possible. This might be next week's episode. So thank you guys. Have a great day.